when the Minister stands before us in October and announces tax cuts, we must recall then that every euro in tax cuts he announced amounts to €4 that could be spent next year on our schools, on our hospitals or on our roads. But that is the Fine Gael and the Fianna Fáil choice, and I believe it's a wrong one. The fiscal rules are a bad idea and are now, as Sinn Féin said they would be, preventing important necessary investment in our country. Has the Minister even raised the need for an exemption for Ireland for at least capital spending over the coming years, including in relation to the repayment of the €64 billion that was taken to fund the banks? This should be argued anyway, but especially in light of Brexit. But how can we argue for that in Brussels when they see you giving away tax cuts, when you could be spending 4 times the amount on investment? So as we approach winter, Minister, take flood defences for example. The government planned to spend €70 million next year, increasing to €100 million by 2021. Minister, that is the type of thing that can wait. The prefab replacement scheme could be accelerated so that our children are not being taught in run-down schools, and I could go on. And in terms of regional imbalance, as was outlined earlier, that absolutely has to be addressed. If we take, for instance, even in the last number of weeks, the regional hospital in Galway and the department there where all procedures had to be cancelled because the roof fell in. Anyone that has visited the regional hospital in Galway will know that staff are doing absolutely Trojan work there, but the infrastructure has fallen around them and it's not fit for purpose. Again, Knock Airport, the opportunities that are lost without having proper investment into Knock Airport. Broadband, again, the jobs that are lost there, the opportunities that are lost for the west of Ireland, and the roads. And I know there was an announcement of LIS, more LIS funding, say, for the roads at the ploughing championship. But when you break that down, that breaks down to about 2 roads for every councillor in a 100-mile radius, and the extension of the greenways and all of those things where capital investment needs to be to generate jobs and to regenerate our rural economy. But the negative consequences of the start-stop approach to many of the infrastructure projects is not the way forward, with things being announced and re-announced and re-announced. And the people in rural Ireland and the people in Ireland as a whole are fed up waiting for vital infrastructure, and I think it should be provided for under this plan. So thank you, Minister.
We have done the right thing by this country since 1922. We will continue to do it. And I have to say that the main opposition party opposite has, by and large, always done what they believe is the right thing to do. We might disagree with them politically, and the Labour Party, and the Greens, and the Independents, who come from a variety of different backgrounds. But I am not going to sit here and listen to this continuous type of thing that we have to listen to in the other House as well, where a senator can stand up and say, it's time that you rise to the challenge. Why aren't you rising to the challenge? Where is your party when it comes to taking responsibility for the democratic mandate that's given?
I am not sitting here listening to this rant.
That's given in another part of this country. It is time that it is time that a party, it is time that all politicians rose to the challenge. And it is time that in this House, fully costed, we all know the fully costed versions that have been brought into this House and the other House. It's time that people spoke honestly to the people in this country. You can't turn on some sort of magic printing press for money. You can't dip into the wishing well. And any party that would suggest that the people that get up in the morning don't deserve some sort of a tax break or some sort of relief on their income. They're the people that pay for everything, and without the 2 million people that are at work in this country at the moment, where would we be? Where would we be? I'll tell you where we'd be. We'd be in the same sort of economic basket case that I referred to a while ago, had we followed the economic policies of a party who told the EU to hump off and who wanted us to be out of the EU at every single referendum that was held. That is the reality. So, Chairman, I welcome the opportunity in the House. I welcome the opportunity. And it's nice to see people arriving.